Hello, welcome to Chatting Shit about the Obsidian Cup. You will notice, of course, that this is just the regular old Zoom view. Bit busy at the minute, so editing time is low, so you'll have to bear with us for the moment. Still, I hope what these guys have to say is worth watching, even without the fancy graphics. Joined tonight by Dan, Drew, and Jay. How is everyone?
Good, Matt. Thanks for calling me out of my bed and saying, hey, do you fancy doing chatting shit in 5 minutes?
Yeah, flustered. Feeling good.
Yeah,
Loads of prep time.
Yeah, so we, less than half hour's prep time on this. Very last minute, but it should be fun. Should be fun. Yeah. What's everyone think to Obsidian?
Better than the last month.
See, I've enjoyed last month, but I haven't gone meta at all. I've had just fun. So, but I quite like the look of this one.
But
I think
can I just ask, Jay? Can I just ask? Have you had fun? Just because you've not gone meta, everyone else will have gone meta. Have you had fun still facing Steelix and Dragonite every year?
It hasn't bothered me, mate. I've done all right.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I've done okay. I've got double fighter with like Hitmonchan, and got Berserker running riot. So
Berserker's a good pick. That's a very good pick.
I must admit, Berserker sparked joy when I used it in Spice Night. I did changing things up and thinking, let's be a bit Jay. Let's have some fun.
Hey.
And we know Dan thinks Obsidian's going to be the best thing since sliced bread. Yeah, is that
100%? I'm super psyched about it. I can't wait. Fairies banned again, which only means good things.
Double dragon everywhere. That's what it means.
I don't think so.
But I think it's nice to see some old favourites getting a bit of shine here. There's some Pokemon that, if you just quickly look down the PvP ranking, that you can see people have not used in such a long time, that I think it'll be nice to revisit some of these things. Gives Ryan time to run Wormadam and stuff, so why not? Why not?
This meta is like, I've been crying out for this. Stab Charm banned, Stab Razor Leaf banned, Mud Boys banned, like Stab Counter banned. This is like,
but Hypno isn't banned.
It's
all right. It's all right.
And you got your pseudo
for that.
You got your pseudo mode boy. You got your pseudo mode boy in the Toad. That's allowed.
Yeah, probably so. It hasn't often. I think I've said it every chat and shit for the past 3. Like the amount of usage that it's dropped just because of the weather bone. I think is just crazy. It's still ridiculously good.
I think that's kind of more Polyrath obviously has been eligible, and the fact that it's got Scold, you've got the debuff chance as well. It does chip away. So I think Wrath is probably the premier one out of the 2 now.
Yeah, because we can't have shadows.
Yeah.
And not as gutted as Mother of Shadows is. I imagine he's like, 2 months? 2 months I can't battle for? Damn it!
Twiddling me thumbs, doing nothing.
Matt's absolutely thrilled about Can't use Tunnel Shadow team.
No comment. No, I'm looking forward to this cup a lot. It's at first glance, it seems very energy management based, which I'm always a fan of, even though I can't count to save my life. It just feels like it feels like we couldn't get a more opposite cup to the one we just had. I'm quite excited about this. Well, we'll crack on then. Drew. Oh, also, again, because I'm not editing this, it is essentially live. So if we're going to make jokes about Adelian giving out hand jobs, we've got to make sure they're appropriate, right?
Okay. Get them out the way early as well. Yeah.
Drew, what position are you in the Silph ranking at the moment, by the way, on the UK leaderboard? You're in Adelian territory.
I think I'm overdue my tug. I mean, I'm well overdue. I think Stu sweeping London, he's getting double hands.
You know what? Because he swept London, he probably needs double hands. You know what I mean? It's not an easy feat. It's not an easy feat. Let's face it. It's the premium international tournament going is London's finest.
It is. It is.
I think Sheep Cow's also due now. I think Stu's 6th, I'm 7th, and Cow's 8th. So Adelian's got to do
line up.
I mean, the only thing Adelian can do is sweep spice tournaments with meta Pokemon, and he can't do that.
Can he do that?
No, he can't.
This month, can't he? He'll try.
Oh, poor Adelian.
And back to the
This stuff's
Obsidian
usually
Cup.
all edited out, by the way.
Poor lad. We love him really.
Oh,
We
love
do,
him,
we
really.
do indeed.
Go on then, Drew, when you're ready, mate.
Right, so after Matt gave me all of us about 10 minutes heads up, I've actually gone for the Poison Bee Pokemon, Pokedex number 15, and that's Beedrill. I looked at the meta very briefly. I drafted a 6. Ironically, Beedrill wasn't in it. Like, I know. What am I doing? So I had a quick look on PV Poke. In the zeros against the top meta, Beedrill's picking up 15 wins, 21 losses, and obviously the mirror's a draw. Ones is 18 wins, 18 losses, 1 draw. And then the twos is 19 wins, 17 losses, and the mirror being a draw. The wins you're looking at, really, key ones is Obstagoon, Xylos, Dragalge, Defense Deoxys, Escav. I mean, Dark is going to be huge here. I think we're all expecting to see Xylos probably is the Premier Dragon. Bit cool.
Dragalge, I think.
What?
I don't think
you know what?
Is beating both?
I think we're all going to be seeing lots of Dragonairs.
I agree.
That's-
I agree. Yeah.
Even I think if it's Dragon, it's got to be Shadow. But anyway, Beedrill.
Yeah, Beedrill.
But interestingly, it's losses. So according to PV Poke, it's losing to Fortress, Coffagrigus, Politoed, Umbreon, Walrein. So I was like, shit. Why am I talking about a bug type that loses to a dark type? So I had a quick look, I did a quick sim. With the Umbreon matchup, it's a 2-turn flip on that one. 2 poison jabs, and it flips in the ones.
When you say the Umbreon matchup, mate, have you checked that with Psychic rather than Last Return? Because I know that everyone goes to Last Resort. I know that the Sims always go Last Resort, but if you switch that to Psychic...
Oh, I'll probably get annihilated.
No one's running Psychic here, surely. Surely not.
Right.
The question...
Dan runs Psychic this month.
The question I have, because when I run Beedrill, I don't run Poison Jab.
I was thinking the exact same. Yeah.
Have you seen the Sims with Infestation? I know you haven't had much time.
No. I've literally just gone straight recommended move set. This is what it's beating. This is what it's losing against. That I do for Brewer.
Yeah, because I think I remember from a previous cup with Infestation, like you've got a chance of beating likes of Hypno.
Yes.
So,
just because the energy game, yeah.
So I actually have a legacy bug bite Beedrill, which I've been looking into. However, I don't think I'll run it purely because I don't see what the poison typing's doing for you here. Like, the nice thing about poison typing is it's resisting charm, it's resisting razor leaf, it's resisting counter. Those things just
yeah.
To me, it's just adding a weakness to Psycho Boost from a Deoxys or a neutral from an Earthquake, which your bugs are otherwise resisting.
I was going to bring that up about Deoxys as well. For all you said, it beats DD. It doesn't really.
Exactly. Yeah.
It kind of.
It's got to be close because of the rock slides and Psycho Boost.
Yeah, it's very baity. It's depends on how the DD player goes, and you only win it in. I think it's only win it in zeros, is it, or do you win it in ones?
No, when you do it by ranking?
So-
Is that based on zeros and ones, or is it just ones? I
No,
can't
it's
remember
just
now.
based on ones. So you
Oh.
don't win the zeros. Sorry, you do win the twos, and you do win the ones, but you don't win the zeros. And again, I think even the
Yeah.
ones,
Can be.
it's how you play it. It's how you play it. I think it depends on how you time that psycho boost very much.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I looked at a lot of the thing, like the losses, and I was saying like Umbreon's obviously a 2-turn flip. Obviously, Dan's brought up Psychic. Politoed is apparently also a 2-turn flip. That's based on Weather Ball Earthquake. I'm presuming everyone's under the same illusion. Earthquake will be the charge move on Politoed. Probably 9 times out of 10.
yeah, because all them dragons are scared of earthquakes. They're not scared of blizzards at all.
I think there's other stuff for dragons in this. I think you want Earthquake on.
Oh, I
Politoed,
forgot you got
personally.
your charm Raichu there.
No, I was actually thinking of Trudy's favorite Ice Lord or Ice Queen. Yeah. And she just does it better, mate. I'm sorry. She just does it
She
better.
does, she does, but I
It
had
was a
to
good
try for
attempt, though.
Trudy.
Yeah, it was a good attempt.
Yeah, good
I
effort.
think you did it proud.
Yeah.
But no,
What I want to know, Drew, bug poison.
yeah,
Given that you're not doing bug damage with your fast move,
right.
I don't see drill run being like drill run on Beedrill is often a big selling point, right?
Yeah.
But I don't see steals being massive here. I don't see fire being massive here.
I don't know. Do you not see Esca potentially having a lot of play?
You not see Fortress having huge amounts of play.
Well, you actually lose to Fortress. It's a 3-turn flip, and that really
I just meant on the steel.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Oh, it's a monster.
Sure, but then they're not Fortress, and all the other bug steals for that matter aren't actually weak to drill run. It's bug resists. So I just what I'm thinking is if you're going for something down that bug poison type here, would something like Ariados with its, or even Venomoth, like with its poison fangs, be a better?
I looked at Venomoth, but I think it's too fragile, ironically. I know, bugs aren't exactly bulky by any means, really, apart from Wormadam. But I looked at Fortress the other night, and it's got an insane win rate. I think it was in the. I sent you the graphic, Matt.
Yeah, it's good in the zeros, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Fortress is one of them, isn't it? All the sims are about that bait, and it's like, I don't disagree that I think it actually could be really good in this meta, but you've just got to be careful with what the sims tell you and actually look at how it really plays. But
agreed.
Yeah. Another one that Beedrill loses to is Walrein. I guess that's kind of expected. No Icicle Spear being spammed out.
Oh yeah, and Walrein, in neutral matchups, the bulkier man wins, right? So
yeah, of course. But again, that's only a 2-turn flip.
Oh really?
Yeah. I'll be honest, I didn't have enough time to look. It's to see if that was straight X's or because some of those matchups, obviously, the Umbreon's going to be straight X's or I'm guessing the Walrein's probably 2 X's and a drill run.
Something like that, I'd have thought. Yeah.
I've not got PvP Poker.
Do you know what? With the Walrein, it's left with 2 HP when it beats you.
That's what I mean. I think
just going on the basics, and that's on the ones, and it loses the 2s to Beedrill.
Yeah, and if you think if everyone's going to go double dragon route, could Walrein pop up?
I think Walrein's going to be popular regardless of whether everyone goes double dragon or not. It's new toy syndrome. It's excellent. Yeah. Everyone loves it. Walrein's going to be popular. I mean, I just don't see double dragon being a thing here. I just don't. There's so much. The last time we had a meta like this where like Fairy was banned and Dragon wasn't, was what, Vortex? And then double dragon was a thing there, but Vortex didn't have the bulk that we've got here. Like we've got things like Umbreon, we've got things like Fortress. Let's not forget, Bug Steel, forget, which are going to be, we think Bug Steel are going to be handy. They resist the dragons. Zweigless gets absolutely murdered by them. A couple of them have coverage to take on the Dragalge. You've got Confusion on Wormadam. You've got Drill Run on Escav. you could Earthquake or Sandtomb on Fortress if you're feeling a bit adventurous. Like I just don't see dragons being huge here. And then you've got bulky stuff like Umbreon, DD, Goon, which can put up a neutral fight. I just don't see it.
Doesn't Smilos beat Umbreon?
Oh, Smilos beats Umbreon, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Dragons will be a thing. Every team will pack a dragon just because of the damage. I mean, it's nothing wants to take a dragon breath or a dragon tail. It hurts, hurts everything. Even the stuff that, as you said, the stuff that it's losing to, with the exception of the ice, most stuff doesn't want to be hit with a dragon tail or a dragon breath neutrally. Double, I think, is probably a step too far. But as you said with Vortex, I felt running double dragon was not the way to go, and yet I got crushed by a certain Macclesfield admin who was running double dragon all the way through it. And it's people will do it, and I'm not saying people just will do it. Do you know what I mean? They will find that the neutral hit is good enough, and if they can get their switching right, then. And it's always a threat, and it always makes people think if there's two dragons. It's like with Jay saying two double counters. I see double counter, and I think, right, I need to make sure that I've got something that can take a punch. You know what I mean? Because I'm expecting it.
Yeah.
So it's always threatening, because then you only bring one dragon, or you don't bring any dragons, and suddenly you're playing with people's minds a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
I think every team will have a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to cover so many resistances. But there's so many resistances there, like with the dragon, the fire, the water, and everything. So the electric. So I just think it's an easy pick to be a protector for things like your bugs and whatever.
And the reason I think Xylos would be common is because I actually see a lot of play for AWAC in this meta. Obviously, if your bug steals and become popular, I can see a lot of play for it.
Or Litleo.
Or Litleo.
Litleo.
Oh, Litleo.
No.
Litleo.
I really rate Litleo here. Honestly, I really
I wasn't taking the piss when I said it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I rate it. But no, I don't know. Yeah, regardless of what dragons go up, the dragon situation, Walreign's going to be big in it. Like people new toys.
New toy syndrome,
Yeah, and that insane coverage, we know it's going to be good. So the fact that Beedrill has a neutral matchup that's considerably less bulky and when it even close is incredible, really. But
I just want to say, Litleo is rank 139 and loses to buggering everything. Yeah, pretty much everything loses. No. No, it does beat the bugs, beats the bugs and Copper Gregus, which is nice, so yeah.
Does it beat AWAC?
Does it beat AWAC? Let me check.
Crunch. Yeah, I'm sure it'd beat AWAC. Because AWAC's relying on Bone Club, isn't it?
Bone Clubs, yeah. I was just wondering.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
You get into 2 Bone Clubs before a crunch, you're not, are you? It's like 1 in.
No, AWAC loses. AWAC wins.
No.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, I retract my previous statement.
Oh, well.
Wins, just goes straight Bone Club, just keeps on hitting you, gets 3 Bone Clubs in to your 2 crunches. Yeah. It doesn't win the zeros, I should expect, but it does win the 1s and the 2s, wins the 2s massively.
Just because it can outpace.
It was a good couple of minutes, Jay, while we...
The pleasure's being live.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all learning.
This is it. This is it. Any other thoughts on Beedrill through?
I think it's got a play. It's got a lot of play. I know someone very well who's running Beedrill in what's this shit cup called? It's RPS Cup. Guardian, that's it. Yeah, absolutely disgusting meta. And yeah, they're running Beedrill. And they've taken out a lot of top players with Beedrill.
And these 2 cups are exactly the same.
I know.
Just the same thing, different name, same thing.
If you're looking, it's picking up pretty much every single dark type. You know what I mean? As you said, if you put a bug fast move on that,
when you say
dark
it's
type-
picking up every single dark type, it's picking up every single dark type apart from the premium dark
apart
type.
from the important one. Yeah.
That's what
apart from the meta favorite Umbreon.
And I think we're also overlooking the fact that it won't be picking up Sableye.
Yeah, because who's going to run a Sableye? I mean, that's never really anyone's option, you know. It's like...
I played Dan earlier in a quick set, and I actually took Copper Gregus out and put Sableye in. And Dan, I don't think I ran it against you, did I? From memory? Those battles we had earlier on this evening.
No, you didn't run Beedrill against me, no.
No, Sableye.
You did.
Did I?
You hit me with a return.
Oh, bollocks.
You hit me with a return. You hit me with a return. It hurt like hell.
You hit it
No
here
wonder,
first.
no wonder I can't remember half the time what I'm chatting about. I can't remember a half hour ago.
Right.
He's
So we
picked
now
Beedrill,
know
but
that
he's not
Drew's
using it.
we now know that Drew's Sableye knows return, right? That's
Oh,
Shocker. Big news.
I'm actually in the process of building up a non-return one as well.
I
Don't know.
Do you know what?
Ultra
Non-return
or-
could have some play here. I mean, you could run Power Gem and then hurt them Beedrills even more.
Joe,
Shadow
I played against someone in Luna Cup who was running Power Gem, and it flips the Mandibuzz zeros, which is I mean I know Mandibuzz is banned here, but like you know it's
Thank God.
yeah, well yeah, but there is some niche areas out there, but yeah.
Beedrill was in my first when the meta dropped and before the rankings came up or anything like that. You know, we all do as we all do and quickly pull out our phones and like put it in ourselves manually and save it and then do a team build just for a bit of fun. And Beedrill was in my first team pick, and I spoke to Matt about it actually, and Matt said, yeah, Dan, what are you going to do about all them rocks? So that's why it's been dropped out of my, but I can see why, because it's such a, I'm trying to be defensive to Beedrill here. It's such a good mon, really, actually. You know, as far as it's quite wide covering, I mean, a Regirock's not going to take a drill run at all. Do you know what I mean? It has got a decent bait move, which does hurt the dark, so you're not necessarily going to want to switch into it. Even with Poison Jab, which isn't as fast picking up as, you know, Infestation, it does. Beedrill is a steady mod. Let's not, you know, for all we've had a laugh and a joke about it, I can see where it fits in.
I've quite enjoyed its upsurge, like since it got its drill run. Like
it used to be a joke mon, didn't it? And then it got drill run, and then suddenly it's like, yeah, this is serious.
And it got drill run just before, not last season, the season before regionals.
It got drill run.
It was mid tournament. It was mid.
Yeah, it was mid tournament.
It was
people
great.
Were just like,
it was great because I built a team for Sorceress in anticipation of Beedrill getting drill run, and so I built a team with Quillfish as the stand-in for Beedrill, and then discovered that Quillfish was absolutely busted good, and then so.
And here's the legend of the rat strap.
Well, we're not here to talk about the rat strap, but it's fully viable here. But yeah, no. So I never ended up running Beedrill that month because Quillfish was better. But yeah, it did. It came mid Sorceress Cup, and that coverage was just incredible for it.
I had community day the day before my regional, which was fun. So I got used to playing this team all month, and then knew that my regional was going to be full of Beedrill. So the only thing I could really do was whack my own one in and just pray. Praying wasn't good enough this time.
I think we've missed a joke on whack my own one in there, but you know.
We don't need to do that. Delian's going to come out later, isn't he?
Yeah.
In the comments.
Go on, Dan. We'll move on to your pick.
Okay. I didn't research what my Pokemon's name was. So I'm just going to call it the Samurai Sword Pokemon. It's Pokedex number 503. It's Samurott. I saw Sharky King use this in, was it Guardian or was it the one before? In Gym Breakers. And Glacial, and I got a whole new respect for this mon of how it actually behaves. Actually, watching someone else use it, and doing sort of, because in Gym Breakers you can do a bit of live coaching and stuff like that, and you're all on the call together and you watch them together, and seeing the way he used it, and I thought, this is actually, it's not a poor grade Swampert. This has got some play in it in there. And when this cup was launched, as I said, Beedrill was one of my picks because immediately I thought, I need stuff that can beat darks. I just want to beat all the darks because it's going to be, everyone's going to have Obstagoon. Going to see loads of Umbreon, and then it's like, oh, DD's, what beats DD? So, and that's where I came out with Samurott. And looking through it, Samurott picks up some big names, picks up some really good names, picks up DD, Umbreon, Swilus, beats up Fortress, and beats up Obstagoon as well. Looking at it against the entire meta, not just the meta, every mon inside it, it's on zeros, it's being 71%, which is, I think that's pretty decent, to be honest, you know, especially for a utility mon such as it is. In the 1's 74, and in the 2's slightly less, 65. So it's not your 2 shield mod, do you know what I mean? But it's a nice little switch. It's not got huge weaknesses. Yes, if you switch in and then someone comes in with a gal, you're absolutely fucked. You're gone. Do you know what I mean? You're doing nothing to it. As Drew's smiling in the corner because he did that to me earlier today. But it's got a lot of play, and Megahorn's great. Megahorn is, you know,
Shadow Ball clone.
Yeah, you know, you pair that with a Hydra Cannon and a super spammy fast move that you're going to get to them quite quickly with, and it's a recipe for an absolute beast. I know Drew wasn't keen on me talking about it today because
I'm really upset right now.
Because it was like, this was going to be our little secret. We were going to go into tournaments big at the beginning of the month, you know.
Yeah.
Go say, oh, PvP HQ starts on the 3rd. We'll enter that one with Samurott.
I plan to.
But yeah, I had little notice, and it was the first mon on my lips when I started team building. I do think it's going to be really good here. I could go into talking about how if you give it 1 or 2 extra Fury Cutters, but I've got to be honest, you don't need 1 or 2 extra. You're going to get to that Hydra Cannon really quick. And if someone comes in with you in a bad lead, they're not going to want to switch anything into you. Because even a Galv, if you're almost, Galv don't want to take a Hydra Cannon, nothing does. So
I debuffed you earlier, Dan. I got 1 lunge off on you, and I still think you took about a good 60-70% off my Galvantula.
Yeah, but I mean, it's this Galv, isn't it?
Don't you dare, bro. Do wash your mouth out.
Made of paper, like on a good day, even after a debuff. Come off it. Like
Ban charm, chat shit about Galvantula.
And we've just roasted Beedrill as well.
Yeah, just stand there and just give me abuse, why not?
I had to stick up for Beedrill at the end there because I thought, actually, Drew's going to go off and cry. I'm going to get a phone call from Lindsay going, what have you done to Drew? He's in the toilet crying again. He won't come out.
It hasn't been like this since a Delian saw him.
But back to Pokédex 503. Yeah, so I've sort of started to build my team. I've used that as my actual core for my team and then built around it. And I can see a lot of really, really nice stuff that it's going to pair very well with, to be honest. I think there's a place here for double counter, to be honest. Just because, again, you've got all the darks running about, which is going to be your major threat because some guy's going to come out there with Umbreon, Swilus, and Obstagoon in the same team. And if you try and go in there with a balanced team against them, they're just going to hurt you. Do you know what I mean? No, as I said earlier, Dragon Breath's just so oppressive. Counter on Obstagoon. Obstagoon may not be the bulkiest mon in the world, but it's got good moves that can hurt things. And Umbreon's it's just a tank. I mean, if someone's got Umbreon in the back, you need a 2 shields just to deal with that, with most things. So my whole strategy is beat dark, beat the darks.
I actually think there's play for double water here as well, or further. Like I think there's some serious play for maybe not mono water, but like getting close to it.
So, but you're a fan of running Milotic over other dragons, though, which I know Milotic isn't a dragon, but
I love Milotic after today. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, like if you were really mono water, like you'd look at Milotic and you'd look at Walrein to beat ice. But I just think with grass gone and there being plenty of water types that beat dragons, and you know, like if dragons are going to be Zweilous, you know, you've got play against that with Fury Cut and Megahorn. If your Zweilous is going to be Dragalge, Politoed's got play against that with Earthquake or All Blizzard, whichever way you want to go. So, you know, there's counterplay there, and otherwise you're worried about electrics, which they don't resist water, and you could just stick a Kingdra on there anyway and just like power through it. I'm sure Jade approve of that sentiment. But
oh yeah.
yeah. No, I think as good as Dark is here because counter and charm have been removed. I think water is equally good because grass has gone. Personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I mean, there are some grass moves about there. You know, if you look through the meta, there are some mons with grass moves, but there isn't many. I think
disgustingly bulky psychic types of grass, not particularly.
Yeah, there is. I was thinking, what is it? No, Laverny's not available, is it? Because that's actually got a grass type in.
Yeah, no, that won't be that bad.
Yeah, no, I forgot who I was thinking was available. But yeah, no, maybe mono water is, you know, I've seen people run it before and do very well. And well, I say do very well. I've seen one guy beat me with it, but lose to everyone else. Thank you, Stu. I'll keep bringing that up till the day I die. But we were talking about Samurott. Has anyone else got any thoughts on Samurott apart from me? Or
solid.
I just think it's fantastic. A watermon with a bug type fast move and charge move. I've not actually been able to hit a Megahorn on an Umbreon as of yet. Dan, any idea of what kind of percentages you're looking at there?
For Megahorn versus Umbreon?
Yeah.
I reckon you're looking 60% there.
I'll say 63.
I'll go 67.
No one went 69. Fuck's sake, guys.
Yeah, anticipated.
69.
There you go.
No,
It's got. There you go.
I mean, you're beating Umbreon in every shield scenario.
That is,
you know,
because it's not even like it's not that bulky, is it? Samurott. It's not like I mean, it's not squishy. It's middling, but like yeah, the spamminess and how hard it hits. I think it's just been so underrated because of Swampert. Like has just sort of whenever Swampert's been allowed, and obviously like in GBL in the open leagues, it's just everyone just uses Swampert. Even like after the community day, hardly saw them. Like just they were just non-existent. It's not like Walrein and then they're everywhere. Like with Samurott, it was just like, oh yeah, it's at the community day, but I've still got a fucking Swampert, so I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah, it could definitely be Samurott's time to shine. Yeah, definitely.
It was 60% damage. It does.
Okay.
Just
nice. Matthew was right.
As always.
As always.
So yeah, as I was saying, looked at Fortress. Obviously thought AWAC is a big problem for bugs anyway, and then I thought good counter for AWAC. Samurott is absolute monster with the Hydro Cannons, hits quick and fast, and then obviously picked up, I'm guessing, a lot of the darks, if not all the darks. You know what I mean? I just think it's a fantastic one, and like Jay was saying, it got slept on a lot. And I think the reason it got slept on a lot is because its community day fell into the GBL cycle of Ultra League. I think if it was a Great League cycle, I think it might have got a lot more, maybe not a lot more, but it would have been talked about. It would have been showcased on streams. You know,
I think in Great League it's difficult because you want a water type to be able to beat things like G-Fisk, right, and Bastion, and without any fast move pressure against those things, those matchups become a bit sketchy. Whereas here, like, there's not really a huge amount of stuff that water damage is good against. It's more, the nice thing about water here is that water types are hard to take down. And, and that's why the Achilles Samurott is here. So I don't think even had it been a Great League, I don't think with a Great League GBL cycle, I still don't think we've seen loads of it, but I think in a custom meta like this, it's a serious play.
I think with the GBL thing as well is one of the beauties about Swampert is if you're doing the Lewis line or something like that, and you've got sludge wave on it, you're hurting an Azu, which, let's face it, Azu is GBL.
Yeah.
It's there. So I think you've also got that advantage as well, which plays into it. But yeah.
Cool. Shall we move on then? Yeah. No.
Nothing.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm up next, and my pick is number 463, and that is Lickilicky. Really interesting mon. I think this cup's going to be mainly about energy conservation, and rather than being super RPS matchups. So like everything. The term generalist is thrown around a lot, right? But in my mind, what makes a good generalist is bulk and spam, and Lickilicky has that. It's going to be nice against ghost types, obviously.
Yeah.
And we've got Dark is really good here. We assume, and we've got Dark to handle ghost types as well. But the differentiating factor you've got here, there's a couple of differentiating factors, is that Dark types have to watch out for a Moonblast from Cresselia, which I think is going to be big. Like, Cress is awesome. Cress is really, really good. Yeah, so you're less concerned about that. You don't have to worry anywhere near as much about the bug steel types because you're not taking super effective bug bites as the dark types would be. And then what I like about it over the other lickers, over Snorlax and Munchlax, is that it's got the bulk to take on Deoxys defense. So if you time your licks right, so if you throw like mid counter rather than letting them sneak a counter in, you'll beat Deoxys defense in the zeros spit Shadow Ball, or in the twos straight body slam, or if you go body.
You're running it with Shadow Ball.
I think so. Yeah, because Shadow Ball body slam, because we've all been in that position with either a Munchlax or a Snorlax more pertinently, where you're trying to lick something down, let's say a Frostlass or a Sableye, and you realise actually you've not got a charge move to throw at them, because
you win the ones and twos, with Shadow Ball.
Sorry, I was winning without baits. But yeah, if you bait and get a bait, you'll beat the Deoxys all evens.
Yeah.
But you don't actually need the Shadow Ball to win the twos, I don't think. So yeah, you're sort of making Deoxys and Cresselia really, really concerned. Obviously, the problems with running lickers with all these darks around you're going to be put in problems. But we've seen again with this sort of thing with Munchlax, particularly in the past in Silph metas, and Licky Tongue, that actually on a safe switch, these things take a beating. Like they're gonna absorb a few charge moves. You're going to get body slams off, and even in the worst of matchups, the zeros, you're going to come out and you're going to have done 70-75% damage to things by the build up of body slam damage. So it could be a great Greatmon in a sort of ABB line as a safe spot to try and lure out the Dark type. I don't know what you might pair that with to take advantage. Your Psychic type of choice, be it Cresselia itself or like the Treaded Hypno. Don't do that. And yeah, it's an interesting one. It's just like we talk about Samurott. Like I'm sort of seeing Politoed as a benchmark here in terms of what a good generalist is, and I want everything on my team to have at least 2 even shield win conditions versus Politoed. I mean this is 2 days in, it's the meta, and if it turns out Politoed's just not being favourable, then I'll possibly revisit that. I just don't want to be in a position where I'm worried about shielding weather balls or worried about things getting weakened down all game, and then my 3 mons are all in range of a weather ball at the end of the game, and I just can't get a charge move off faster than the Politoed can get a weather ball off, and everything gets killed. I just want things to be able to sit there in front of Politoed, take weather balls comfortably, while still doing other things differently across the team. And Lickilicky does that for me. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and I like Lickilicky a lot. I mean, interesting that you want Shadow Ball. I know, yeah. Oh God, I like everything. Everything that isn't in the top 50. But then I did like Beedrill. So.
Lickilicky number 53, by the way, so just outside.
That's why 50. I said. Yeah. That's why I said. See,
yeah,
I know.
There we go. He's on the same page. Yeah.
I do like the Earthquake option, but I think you're probably right with the Shadow Ball. I think it can be a bit painful against ghost types sometimes. Like you were saying about trying to farm them down, so it's a good option. It's mad.
Doesn't beat all the ghosts though.
It struggles versus Sableye, but all these lickers do.
Sableye's,
beats Frost. Doesn't beat Frostlass.
Doesn't need to beat Frostlass. No one's running Frostlass. Bunch of dark types, bunch of water types. I'm
Lobsters.
No, but it makes Frostlass more worried. Like Frostlass ain't going to sit there and play out the zeros first. Like it might do against Snorlax.
No, yeah.
Sorry, Jay. What are you saying?
Oh no, I was just trying to say I agree with your choice of moves. Because I think at first when you were saying Lickilicky, I had in my head Earthquake. Because I was just thinking about what else is there, and I just like the Earthquake coverage. But no, yeah, just mainly like if I don't know, I haven't looked at everyone's hyping about Regirock maybe, like with the Earthquake coming more clutch, but then obviously I suppose it depends what job you want it to do and what move. So if you're tailoring it to do specific jobs, like beating Deoxys defense, like I didn't realize it had the bulk to do it. Like I know it was bulky, but I didn't realize it was bulky enough to withstand that it can go through the twos and still come out winning.
I think the thing you've always got to bear in mind with Deoxys defense, and this is just goes beyond the Lickilicky matchup, is that Deoxys defense has got a really low HP stat. So anything that you're going to take, anything that's using 1 turn fast moves is going to beat it. It's going to at least take it on in the twos. So like Rainy Cast Form, I remember from Venture Cup beats Deoxys in the twos because just the water and damage. It's just precisely, exactly, So the Deoxys in the twos isn't always the best benchmark, but it's still pretty cool that it picks up.
It's really cool, to be honest. I didn't think it stood a chance against Deoxys. I thought Deoxys would just punch through it very quickly. But I'd not even thought about. Again, I think versatility in them on and stuff like that. So I'm thinking you've already got the Ghost Fast move. You're doing the damage there, so why not have Earthquake as? And I would think Earthquake over Solar Beam or some of the other mad moves it might learn, like Hyper Beam or something like that.
Does it beat Wobbuffet though?
Do you know what? I haven't even given Wobbuffet the time of day. Like, do you know what? If someone beats me with a Wobbuffet, fair play to them.
I mean,
Jan, there's
You've
your
said it now.
challenge.
Yeah, you said it.
Yeah, but no, I get the point, Dan. But like, what's more versatile than Body Slam? Like, if Body Slam isn't versatile enough here, I mean, it's the big steel types are gone here. You don't need to take out a Bastiodon. You don't need to take out a Registeel.
But you are going to fall foul to the triple threat, which I spoke earlier about, of Obstagoon, Umbreon, and Zweilous, because you ain't touching any of them, and they're all gonna.
If someone runs triple dark, they're more full length. To be fair.
Yeah, I don't think for a second anyone's going to run triple dark, particularly.
Drew's like, damn.
No, it's not even that. It's just the faith that he has every month. Oh, no one's going to do this. No one's going to do that. My first round opponent's going to have triple dark. I know it.
That's fine. You'll be prepared for it.
My first draft's got double bug.
There
you go. Then. Exactly. That's what I like. There's plenty of bug around.
I could see double dark.
Plenty of bug around.
I could see double dark if one of the darks is Zweilous.
Yeah.
That's about it, personally. And you might see the dark poison. You might see a dark poison.
You see, I can see double dark without Zweilous. I can see Sableye, Obstagoon. I can.
Sableye,
or I could see Goon and Drapion. Or what's the other one? Coppergregus and Goon. I can see Goon pairing with another dark, pretty much any other dark. Pretty much.
You've also got a Alolan Grimer as well, which was obviously very popular, I think, in Continentals.
We don't talk about
that. That's another sick man.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be running Wobbuffet and the Alolan Grimer together, and he's going to hate me that I'm giving away his strats as well.
It's actually worse though than the Muck. The Muck actually picks up more key wins that you the meta, just to let you know on that one. I've looked at it already.
Alolan Grimer is just slow.
What you're forgetting to say is Body Slam's legacy. Now, if you're a poor elite TM man like myself, am I wanting to spend on a community day box or whatever? What is it now, about a tenner for a community day box for an elite TM?
Yeah, but you've got like 3 of them, surely. Everyone's got about 3.
We all did
community day.
It wasn't community day. It wasn't community day.
I had to trade with you, Dan. I had to trade with you.
No, it was a raid day a long time ago.
Yeah, I've still got one with Philly Jim Bob's name on it, a shiny, on my phone from last time we did in persons, where it's like, save me that, save me that, save me that. Still not seen him to give him any of these, you know what I mean? But I've got a load that say PJB on them.
Oh, well, if he's not there in Chester, I'll take it.
Well, this is it. My Lickilicky. My Lickilicky's a nice shiny golden one, which is quite nice. I'm a big fan of that.
Also, Matt, sorry, Snorlax versus Lickilicky. Now, Snorlax obviously can learn superpower to hit back against those dark types.
Yes.
So, what is the main thing? Is it just pure Shadow Ball for the Crest matchup?
It's to not feel like you're wasting energy against ghosts, and it's to take on bug steals without having to debuff yourself. So Snorlax, if you're running Body Slam, I mean Earthquake's an interesting point actually, but if you're running Body Slam Superpower, all of a sudden, if you want to do charge move damage to the bug steals, you debuff it yourself.
Same with the darks though. If you're trying to, you're doing nothing with your licks already, but if you start debuffing yourself with superpowers, then
exactly.
like you're going to struggle against darks as well.
Exactly. And the other option out there is there's 2 other options out there as far as I can say. There's Munchlax, which is Bulldoze, which is awful.
Gunk shot.
All right, yeah. And there's Zangoose.
Get to that next year.
Wasn't
Zangoose will be good here, in the right hands. The right hands, Jay.
I think I saw. I'm running
epic.
Zangoose this month as well.
It'd be it's so your month for Zangoose, this mate. It just
It's number 1 on Leeds as well. It's got a score of 100 on Leeds.
I think it was actually rank 1 when I can't remember who made up this, the Cinder meta, but it was passed around, and Zangoose was actually number 1 on that. And then was it you, Dan? Yeah, Zangoose was number 1 overall on that. So it's obviously got legit play.
So in the big 40-man draft, I played Rigel Starlight. So did you, Drew, didn't you? You played in round 1.
Oh, what's this with my triple water team?
Yeah. So I was sat there sitting against Rigel Starlight and his Ferrothorn and Jellicent core, thinking, well, I've got to get things lined up right here. And all of a sudden, it was Zangoose that was causing me the problems. Like, it got to the point where I only had the Dene on my entire team that beat Jellicent. And it got to the point where I was much happier, like, dealing with Jellicent other ways. Like, I got so I could line the Dene up versus Zangoose. And I was quite happy to try and take Jellicent down with Moltres and Registeel. Zangoose was such a problem. So I know exactly how good Zangoose can be in the right hands. But I just, like, as I say, all of a sudden you're losing. That's a huge drop in bulk. And there's so many neutral matchups here. That's potentially a bit dangerous. It could work in this. I know Drew was saying it works as a lead, but I think it's a way of coming in. I think it's a safe swap, Zangoose, because coming in.
I think I know. I don't disagree with the safe swap, but it's like a Malamar vibe with the lead. You can throw the close combat and dip, and then come back later, or you can get a bit of energy and dip and come back in with it later. And like, because you can hit like the close combats, the Night Slashes, the Shadow Claws. I think it's quite versatile for this.
You build up to that close combat. You hit a Night Slash, and then you straight out and you dip, and you've got halfway there to your next close combat, and you come in and you hit something really hard at the end. It's
because people aren't no shield.
No, although I do think though, Zangoose is so frail that, like, one of the key points of me talking about Licky was that it can deal with the ghost without being weak to bug bite. Like bug bites, by the time you've even got to a close combat, I'm sure Fortress has done like 45% in bug bites alone. So all of a sudden, that's it's a completely different man. I think certainly it plays very differently. But yeah,
I think as well, your average player won't expect a Shadow Ball on Lickilicky, to be honest. Not everybody watches chatting shit, only the smart people do. And you have got a majority of players out there at the moment who go on PV Poke and they only see what's there. And especially the simming players who look at your team, you're in a remote tournament. Oh, what comes up? It's got Earthquake. And they will expect that. And suddenly, boom, you're hitting them with a Shadow Ball. And that's beautiful. That's.
Does PV Poke recommend Earthquake on the Lickilicky?
Yes.
Oh, that's tasty. Yeah.
Recommends Earthquake Body Slam. Because it thinks like me, I suppose, in a way of versatility. You've already got a ghost moving lick, so why would you double up? So you took me by surprise, Matt.
So if you want to be talking about being taken by surprise, I actually have a Lickilicky already built from before the body
fact that you've got one built is a surprise. There you go.
I've got one built with Shadow Ball Earthquake. Have you?
Yeah.
Was it?
It's Jay. Of course, Jay's got a double nuke. He's also got one with Hyper Beam and Earthquake.
Rose Cup though, like even before it was a thing, I was thinking it could be a great way of luring out Medicham and hitting it with the Shadow Ball. Great way of luring out what was Probo Pass. Hit it with the Earthquake, the multi-purpose lure. So if steals do end up taking off here, the double nuke is a serious option as well. But you're losing.
We've gone down a dark hole, We're now talking about double nukes on Lickilicky and trying to convince each other that this is the way to go.
Oh no.
But Matt, you're also picking up AWACS. If you're thinking still's going to be a big thing, and you end up going a still kind of route yourself,
you still think AWAC's going to be big, don't you?
I just think
You've spent too much time playing GBL today, mate. I think you need to go and have a cup of tea or something like that.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you why Drew thinks Samurot's going to be big, because he sits there going on about Galv. Like, Drew stands there in front of a mirror.
What's me Galv?
Yeah. Galv shits the bed against it.
Do you know what does beat though?
Lickilicky. It'll be Hex. Hex double nuke on AWAC as well.
Hex double nuke. Oh, dirty.
I like that.
But I did regionals.
Both spiders beat Lickilicky.
That's fine.
You say that, Matt. At the moment, I'm running double spider strat, as I said earlier.
I was going to say, if somebody's running double spider, then
that's fine.
I'll be fair though. I don't think
goes... Matt's running AWAC as well. He just hasn't. He's just talking it down.
Charm Raichu's coming out this month. Sort of my ranking points. I'm just gonna meme it. I think Spider and Charm.
That's only because you don't want that handy for Medallion. That's all it is. You're like, I'm getting out of this top 10 quick.
Back to.
I think I'm safe. But by the time everyone waits this month, I should be. I think I'm starting at 15th. I think I'll be about there again. I only waited a 4-1, so I'm not going to go up too much.
Listen to sniff at here. Like 4-1 this month is like given like how like anyone could hit anyone because of the such RPS matchups. 4-1 here is a solid result. Like,
I've had an awful month. Honestly, I've had an awful month. I played V10 the other night and I missed my charge move button to kill him and win. Basically, my switch clock was coming up. I could see it, and I knew he had the energy. And he's a good player. We all know that. He probably knew I was going to try and sack swap. And as the switch clock comes up, it was full, but it doesn't. You can't switch until it lights up. So I've tapped it while it's still dark, even though the circle's full. Gone to hit my charge move, which would have killed, and yeah, missed it, and then tapped it, and he wins CMP and kills me. I cry, and my shit.
But
if you cry every time you lose to V10, you must cry a lot, mate. You know what I mean?
It's keeping a deli in a way, right? That's...
My tissue piles are extensive, if you know what I mean.
Right. Okay, Jay, go on, mate.
I don't know how to follow that. From tissue piles to bug steals, because we've been shitting on them all night, but it's all right. So for once, I'm not talking about Pokédex number 342, and it's available. If you don't know what it is, then more fool you. But we're going for Pokédex number 649, Genesect, the Paleozoic Pokemon. I think that's how you say it.
Great name.
So it's Paleozoic, something like that. Anyway, English is not my best language. I am from Liverpool. So it's rank 95 on PvP overall. So yeah, bug steal. So pretty much its only weakness is fire, but obviously that's a hell of a weakness with the bug and steel type one. It's got loads of resistances, which it needs because it's a bit squishy. It's not very bulky, but I found it a lot of fun to use. So it resists poison, grass, steel, psychic, normal, ice, fairy, dragon, bug. So resistances for days, which is pretty good. It's got a couple of good wins for like this is very rushed, just saying, but like the wins on PvP, you got like stuff like Malamar. I've done no research. Malamar, Regirock, so obviously this everyone's sort of gone, oh, new toy, maybe Regirock come out a lot. Zweilous, whenever that's available in a meta, people seem to love using it, and Cresselia, which is just a fantastic Pokemon as well. But obviously you're resisting everything that Cresselia throws at you. You're resisting the Dragon Breath as well for the dragons. So I think it's got definitely some use, but I think the way you got to play it is more. It's just something to try and take some shields because it just hits. It hits like a truck. Its attack stats like 140 odd. And that's literally all I'm going to use it for. Is I'm just going to try and send it in there, take shields, and then I'll save shields for Microdons, and hopefully that'll sweep everything. So that's that. But it learns Fury Cutter, obviously his fast move, which is we know is a good energy generator. It's got X-Scissor and Magnet Bomb and Hyper Beam, but you don't
one's
want
that
to
spicy.
yeah, even I'm not. I mean, I tested it, I think, in Luna Cup, and I just found I was just better with X-Scissor and Magnet Bomb. But yeah, shield pressure, it spams out moves. It is a bit of a glass cannon, but I think you can get used to it. Like it can take a hit, but you don't really want it to. So you just got to try, and if you can take their shields first, then you're just sort of probably going to have to be like, right, okay, I'll take the shield advantage and I'll be happy with that. There's a couple of close matchups as well. So like it doesn't, even though it's bug and it's spammy, it can struggle in a couple of matchups like Umbreon and Obstagoon. But it can also flip them with slight energy. So like I think it's like a 110 difference for Umbreon and like maybe 4 or 5 for Obstagoon, which isn't ridiculous really, because obviously Fury Cut is just 110. So it is possible. The overall meta, so you've got 2 shields, you've got like 61% win rate, 55% in the ones and 53 in the zeros. So it's probably some of the best percentages I've ever read out in chat and shit for one of my picks, to be honest. It's normally about 30, so I'm having to double check that I've written this down right. But yeah, I think the amount of resistances, I think obviously it's probably, I say probably a downgrade. In a way, it's a downgrade to Fortress, but it's not as bait reliant as Fortress with this. It's like, you just spam away and just keep firing your moves. With your Fortress, you're hoping for debuffs with the mirror shot. You're hoping that they're going to shield the bait of the mirror shot so you can land the Earthquake. Whereas this, most of the time, you can just go straight for your move, no messing around. So yeah, and then yeah, I think the resistance of the dragons. I know I've said I think people are going to bring dragons, and some people disagree. But I think that'll, even though it's not bulky enough to really hang in there with a lot of the dragons, but it's still a good resistance to have.
I think it's a really interesting shout because the bug steal that first came to my mind here was actually Scizor, which will play very similarly, but has the Night Slash for ghost types, which bug steals normally struggle with. But yeah, with Magnet Bomb, you've got a nice, strong, neutral stab move there, which probably does similar amounts of damage, to be honest. And that's something that none of your Fortress, your Wormadam Trash, your Scavaliers are going to be able to do. So it's a different playstyle, I guess, but on a team that was a bit weaker to Ghost, Scizor or Genesect, serious play, I think. Yeah,
Magnet Bomb's such a good move. I remember back in season 1 playing against is it Magneton that's got it? Well, Magnemite's got it, and it just being such a lovely, nice neutral hit that just I was, when Jay said he was going to pick Genesect, I was just like, wow, that's just brilliant. That's a J pick. And I've just quickly simmed it then, looking at it. If you get in a few of them Fury Cutters, I think you only need you don't need that much to be able to flip a DD match, which is just, DD's going to be throwing rocks at you and all sorts of crap. You know what I mean? It's, you've got to play it right. I don't think
3 turns and you flip DD.
Yeah, you've got to play it right. I don't think it's going to be everyone's choice. I do think you're going to see a lot of Regirox. I don't think you're going to see Earthquake Regirox, to be honest, because I just don't see people spending the TM for Earthquake. I just don't feel it's got too much play here. I feel Stone Edge is better option, really. I quite like Genesect actually. Again, it's just adding that dark coverage. So
And I think that's a really important point to make, is that we often talk about, with those few fast turns of energy advantage, with all the darks being popular here and psychics, things like Umbreon and DD and Cress, there'll be plenty of opportunities, and dragons potentially. There'll be plenty of opportunities to sort of switch your bug steal in. So something like a Fury Cutter user aids, you will get that energy lead. Opportunities will arise for that. Whereas it's not always the case with, it's always nice in theory, but finding something you can switch in on to get an energy lead is.
Yeah, by the time someone's reacted, you can easily get the 2, 3, 4 Fury Cutters in.
I was going to say, you've got that fourth one, and then suddenly everything's changing completely, because you're not going to want to take a magnet bomb to the face. It's just not. It's just not going to want to.
No.
Yeah.
I think it was more I think when I saw the Cress and the Regirock and the Wireless thing, when I saw that I picked up then, I was just like, yes, like straight away.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Drew? Being a bit on the quiet side about
He's got to I picked a better bug.
And it's not Galv. It's like, what? There's bugs other than Galv.
Cannot fathom such a thing. Yeah.
I'll be completely honest. I'm completely clueless when it comes to Genesect. Never used it. Never built one. Don't know what it can do. So this is my education lesson. That's why I'm sat here.
I mean, it is an investment. Obviously, it's something that you could you can't get.
AWAC beats it.
Anyway, it's fire in it.
That's right. My and Dan's Samurott are loving life at the moment.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you can't change the drives, which is annoying. But
Samurott isn't loving playing Genesect. If you take it to the 2s, Genesect is murdering Samurott all over the show. I mean, it's not even fun.
Yeah, I think it is you're gonna if you're gonna use it, you've got to sort of know what it can do in the 1s and 2s. Obviously, you don't want to waste shields on it. I think, as I said, my play style with Genesect is I want to try and take the shields and if I can gain shield advantage, unless I really need switch, then obviously if I know I can win in the 2s, then you invest your shields. But it's definitely niche where you need to know what you can and can't win in the 1s and 2s, because it's not worse than wasting shields on and then not getting to your move. It's like,
I think that's a case of all the bug steals here. I think typically when we think back at bug steals in Silph, you look at Escav and you look at Wormadam, as certainly I think of those two as being the bigger ones, and with them being counter and confusion users, the matchups are sort of a lot harder and clearer than things like Genesect and Fortress and that sort of stuff. So I think that is something with all the bug steals that might take a bit of getting used to for people.
Yeah.
I think we're all dumbfounded because none of us have ever used Genesect apart from Jay.
I mean, I've got it in the draft.
We know what it does.
I've got it in the draft that we're in at the minute as well, and it's done. It's done me well there. It's pretty much carried me for me wins.
Nice.
So,
right then, guys.
I like it.
Unless anyone's got anything else to say or anything we've discussed, we'll call it there. But,
it's going to be a good month. It's going to be a great month.
Do you know what? Anything better than last month?
Loads of different stuff.
Yeah, it
last one wasn't that bad. It was just so RPSy, and I mean, I did terrible. I started the month really well and ended the month dropping out of tournaments because I was just like, I can't play this no more.
Haven't you and Blitzself got your own tournament going this month?
Yeah, I think we played each other 4, maybe 5 times, but that's including the draft as well. So yeah,
so that's crazy amounts of times. Though. I think you're only in 3 times. Wait, Flint, Belters, Jim,
Flincher,
draft,
and draft to 4. Yeah, played him in them all.
What are the chances?
Well, I beat him in the draft, and that's the only one that matters. It really cares about Silph. I mean, it's a dying thing, you know what I mean?
Ooh. Right through the heart.
GBL's where it's at, just random tapping. That's the game.
You're really anti-Adele.
Dan's just forfeited his hand job.
You're not looking,
Love you, Delhi.
Right, guys. All right, let's leave it there then. All right, well, thanks for joining me on such short notice. Really appreciate it, guys.
Really
nice
enjoyed
one
it,
for
Matt.
having us.
Thanks very much.
Been a good one. Right, have a good month, everyone, and catch you all later.
See you.
See you in a bit.
Right.